And LeBron, so yeah, PC Smoker back again. And of course, it's St. Patrick's Day. And with the housekeeping, smoking my 320 from Salmon Alley. And I just got back from having some corned beef and cabbage, which is a lot better than last year, because last year I was working, and since I got off work, head over to the restaurant and just had a little sliver of corned beef left. Almost ruined the whole day, but you know, a little bit is better than none at all. So this year I went ahead and got myself 2 extra helpings, so that makes up for last year. And of course I am wearing green because normally if you're true Irish, you're supposed to wear green, but my first name, well, that will last name later. My first name is Irish, so is my second name. Where are they? I'll never tell. But trust me, they're both Irish. As for the last name, well, I can probably live in the past. But on the father's side, it's all Russian. And on the mother's side, well, it's German and British. So it could be a wee bit Irish. So who knows? Depends upon. Well, I can't divulge the last name either because it's used as a security code. So. Oh. So I had a wee bit too much to drink today. So anyway, well, I could be a wee bit Irish, who knows? And besides, well, St. Patrick is not Irish. He was born in southern England, so that's one thing. And another thing about St. Patrick's Day is that when the Irish moved to the U.S. and, of course, settled in New York City on St. Patrick's Day, of course, they usually have Irish bacon, but they didn't bring any with them, so they settled on corned beef as a substitute, and they took that from the Jewish quarter of New York City. So not only St. Patrick is actually British, well, English, but since Northern Ireland is part of the UK, well, anyway, since St. Patrick is not Irish, and corned beef is not Irish, but kosher, that's good enough for me. So those two are the things most people don't know about St. Patrick's Day. And I had to do this recording from my pad instead of on the remote because I was planning on doing a remote from Chicago, where some of you are subscribed to Good Goose Off. That's where he is right now. So we could have met face to face in Chicago, but someone screwed up on the schedule, and it's because someone else did the scheduling, and normally I have Saturdays off. So someone did the scheduling, and they had me working today. So that kind of threw the whole Chicago trip off. So I'll have to do my St. Patrick's Day remote sometime later in the future. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. I don't know. So that's the downer right there. Now, since I am stuck in the U of I in Champaign, don't know if some of you caught this on the news a few years ago, but the U of I students here already celebrated their St. Patrick's Day with what they call an official St. Patrick's Day. And here's the reason behind that. Normally, St. Patrick's Day falls, well, let's back up. Back in the good old days, before the turn of the century, being the rowdy drinkers that we U of I students are, always celebrate St. Patrick's Day, getting drunk and all that here on the U of I. Well, the powers that be at the U of I decided, well, to move the graduation date up a week or two. So which means pushing spring break up as well. And what happens is that on some years, St. Patrick's Day would fall all on spring break. So which means, the students can't party at all here at the U of I at a park somewhere else for St. Patrick's Day. So in 2004, the students concocted, well, they brew up an idea at that time. We should have make an unofficial St. Patrick's Day 2 weeks for spring break. And, what they do is, do like to do on St. Patrick's Day. Wear green and drink green beer and have for parties at apartments and all that. Which, then be good, make good for business for those who sell liquor and those who be selling the t-shirt that says unofficial with the U of I logo on it. So they went ahead and did that back in 2004. And of course, the U of I officials, well, they don't accept it at all. So every year, come the second Friday for spring break, the U of I students had their unofficial St. Patrick's Day, which is a nightmare for businesses around campus town, also for the police, the EMTs, the hospitals, because a lot of people are drinking, especially those underage. So police be issuing tickets all the time and have put up road signs on the streets near campus, warning motorists, more or less, abandon all hope ye who enter, or enter at your own risk, stuff like that. So anyway, that's how it is. And a couple of years ago, I ventured onto campus town. I walked over because I'm about a mile and a half away from here, so it isn't that bad of a walk. And there were a lot of people partying and drinking and all that, and there was one kid who had at least 3 times the limit, maybe 4, but he was totally pissed. And he was visiting and all that, and he we tried to tell him, where does he live and all that, and he said, well, he lives in a house. I said, well, where's that? And I said, I don't know. So he was totally drunk, and he probably was underage. But I didn't get a good look, because we tried to look, me and the bouncer from the bar that the kid passed out at, we looked for his wallet, and I had a state ID card that said, well, he was up around Chicago, up in the boonies, but didn't tell us anything. But he could have traveled down here from Chicago, which is not unheard of. Because a few years ago, one kid from Chicago, had friends here at U of I, and they called up they called the friend and told him to come on down, having St. Patrick's Day, we're getting drunk and all that, partying hard and all that. So he drove down here. Here comes the good part. State police stopped that kid one county above us because he was going down I-57 at 134 miles an hour. I mean, yeah, that's how stupid things are around here. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember if he was underage or not. But, this whole unofficial bash, it's over with maybe about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So, he had plenty of time to slow down. But, that's what happened. He got stopped at being clocked at 134 miles an hour. And probably would have run out of gas already, because probably getting about, 5 miles a gallon at that speed. So, that's how weird it is. And I used to volunteer at the hospital. It was on a Friday night, and it was an unofficial St. Patrick's Day as well. And we got a lot of rooms occupied by those who had too much. Just look on the screen on the board on the wall, and it says ETOH, 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 which is ethyl alcohol, which is the alcohol we drink. That's fit for human consumption. So I had about 4 cases of kids who OD'd on the booze, and then had 2 people who were part of a fight. They fought, who beat the shit out of each other. So they had the attacker at one end of the hall, and then the other one and the attackee on the opposite end. So yeah, that's it's kind of amazing. These people are. One, yeah, it's kind of like right now, it's spring break right now, so they probably are celebrating St. Patrick's Day somewhere in America, unless they went south of the border or north of the border. But anyway, you can celebrate St. Patrick's Day any day you want. So, really, there's no use for unofficial St. Patrick's Day. So that's one thing. And another thing, even though we're over 30, got a little hindsight and all that, a little wisdom as well. I would say if the people are our age, under 21, I'd say, hey, you can wait until you're 21, because there's a no drinking law. You gotta wait till you're 21 that you can legally drink, and you can wait till you're 21 because they're not going to pass a law, because they once passed a law outlawing booze, and it took another amendment. Yeah, they took the 18th Amendment to ban alcohol, and they took the 21st Amendment to ban the 18th Amendment. So, if you're under 21, hey, wait. The booze will still be around when you turn 21. No problem with that. And, of course, you can also probably blame on the parents as well. Someone's saying, why are you having your first beer? Well, my first beer came when I was 2 years old. But I stopped drinking after that, because my dad didn't quite like me drinking his beer, especially pouring it in a glass and drinking it. And, you know, I started drinking again when I was of legal age. So, hey, you know, the booze will still be here. Hopefully these will still be here. So, you know, that's my 2 cents on this unofficial St. Patrick's Day. You know, there's no need for it because you can celebrate St. Patrick's Day wherever you're at. Because there'll be a bar somewhere in the U.S. There'll be at least one bar in one town somewhere in the U.S. that'll be serving green beer today. And every St. Patrick's Day. So, that's my 2 cents on the whole shebang. And as far as me drinking green beer today, hopefully if I get off of work at 10 o'clock, I can get back here, change my clothes, put the screen shirt back on, and head over to the bar, hit to some bar that is still serving green beer, and have a pint or two, and then that's it. Go home and do my homework. What else you do during spring break but do your homework? So that's what I got planned on doing. That's what I'm doing this spring break, is doing my homework, get all caught up so I can get my other stuff caught up as well. So hope you're gonna have a good weekend. Especially since it's the last weekend of winter, and right now it's getting close to 80 degrees. And I just noticed some of the trees are beginning to bud about 7 weeks early, because you usually do it around beginning of April, early May. So pretty soon the shoes are going to drop that, and we'll be back down to normal temperatures, 40s and 50s. So it's not going to last too long. And of course, that won't last too long either, because it'll start getting hot and humid, as it always does in May. So anyway, take it easy, and eat your corned beef and cabbage, drink your green beer, and keep those home bars burning. See you next time.